Commander Maya Rodriguez was having what she liked to call a Tuesday morning existential crisis at 3 in the morning on a Wednesday. This involved stale Lucky Charms, black coffee that could strip paint, and monitoring deep space communications for signs of hostile alien activity. You know, typical Tuesday stuff. The cereal had reached that perfect level of soggy disappointment when her quantum receiver started picking up an encrypted transmission. Maya nearly choked on a marshmallow unicorn as the signal resolved into what appeared to be the galaxy's worst PowerPoint presentation. "Greetings, esteemed members of the Galactic Council," announced a voice that sounded like it had been processed through a blender full of gravel. "Today's briefing covers Operation Human Disposal, our foolproof plan to eliminate the pestilent species known as Earthlings." Maya set down her spoon. This was either the most elaborate prank in military history, or she was about to witness the universe's most incompetent invasion planning session. The screen flickered to reveal what looked like a slide deck created by someone who had heard about graphic design but never actually seen it. Comic Sans font. Clip art of skulls. A background that was somehow both neon green and eye-searing purple simultaneously. "Our intelligence indicates that humans possess several critical weaknesses," the narrator continued. Maya could practically hear the smugness dripping through the transmission. First, their inexplicable addiction to a brown liquid called coffee. Without it, they become non-functional zombies. A poorly animated graphic showed stick figures collapsing dramatically next to coffee cups with X's over them. Second, their obsession with something called reality television, which appears to involve watching other humans engage in pointless drama for entertainment. Maya snorted. Well, they weren't wrong about that one. Third, and most peculiar, their emotional attachment to small, furry predators they call cats. Humans will risk their lives to protect these creatures, despite the fact that cats clearly hold them in contempt. The presentation showed what was obviously stock footage of a tabby cat knocking things off a table while text flashed, "Humanity's greatest weakness." Maya leaned back in her chair, grinning. These aliens had clearly done their research by watching exactly 3 Earth documentaries and a couple of cat videos. They'd somehow managed to identify humanity's quirks while completely missing the point of why those quirks existed. Phase 1 involves contaminating their coffee supply with a mild sedative that will make humans slightly sleepy, the voice announced proudly. Phase 2 requires jamming their entertainment networks during prime viewing hours. Phase 3 deploys our secret weapon, fear cats. The next slide showed what appeared to be regular house cats with tiny laser pointers duct-taped to their heads. Maya stared at the screen, waiting for the punchline. When none came, she realized these aliens were completely serious. They were planning to conquer humanity with decaf coffee, network outages, and cats with laser pointers. "The operation launches in 72 Earth hours," the voice concluded. "Victory is assured. The humans will surrender immediately upon realizing their precious lifestyle has been disrupted." The transmission cut out, leaving Maya staring at static, while her cereal achieved maximum sogginess. She pushed the bowl away and reached for her secure communicator, then stopped. A slow smile spread across her face as a much better idea began to take shape. These aliens wanted to play games? Maya Rodriguez had been Earth's top intelligence officer for 12 years. She'd cut her teeth on actual dangerous species who understood concepts like strategic planning and competent execution. This was going to be fun. Maya spent the next hour reverse engineering the alien transmission's source code while finishing her cereal out of spite. The encryption was embarrassingly basic, like a diary with a lock that could be opened with a paperclip. Within minutes, she had full access to their communication network. What she found there was even better than the training video. Admiral Blortex reporting for Strategic Planning Session Alpha, announced a voice that somehow managed to sound pompous despite belonging to what looked like a cross between a squid and a traffic cone. "Excellent timing, Admiral," replied another voice. This one belonged to Ambassador Queep, who appeared to be shaped like a geometric equation having an identity crisis. "I've prepared a comprehensive breakdown of human psychology based on our extensive research." Maya pulled up Queep's file. Extensive research apparently consisted of 3 Wikipedia articles and a BuzzFeed quiz titled "Which Disney Princess Are You Based on Your Coffee Order?" General Throck, your thoughts on our tactical approach? Blortex inquired. The third alien looked like a gray rectangle with eyes. When he spoke, it was with all the enthusiasm of a DMV employee reading tax code. The plan is adequate. Humans will be defeated. This is certain. Maya made a note. Throck, personality of wet cardboard, confirmed. Now then, Queep continued, pulling up a new presentation that was somehow even worse than the first one, that our intelligence indicates that humans have several exploitable psychological vulnerabilities. First, their dependency on caffeine creates a clear attack vector. Brilliant analysis, Blortex interjected. Cutting off their stimulant supply will reduce their combat effectiveness by approximately 90%. Maya nearly spit out her coffee. These aliens had somehow confused grumpy without coffee with militarily incapacitated. Phase 2 leverages their entertainment addiction, Queep explained. By disrupting their access to something called Netflix, we trigger mass panic and social collapse. The fear cats represent our masterstroke, Blortex added, clearly proud of himself. We humans worship these creatures, so turning them into weapons of terror will shatter their morale completely. General Throck nodded slowly. Fear cats optimal. Laser pointers cause distraction. Plan successful. Maya watched in fascination as they spent another 30 minutes refining their strategy. They'd somehow convinced themselves that humans were basically tall, anxious hamsters whose entire civilization would crumble if you hid their running wheel and turned off their TV. The best part was their complete confidence in the plan's success. Blortex kept using phrases like inevitable victory and flawless execution. Queep had created pie charts showing projected human surrender rates. Throck had calculated the exact number of fear cats needed per major population center. Timeline confirmation, Blortex announced. T-minus 68 hours until Operation Human Disposal begins. All units report readiness status. Maya listened as various alien commanders checked in from across the galaxy. The Zephyrian fleet was totally ready to rock this invasion thing. The Krillian assault teams had practiced their intimidating poses. The Vorthan supply ships were locked and loaded with premium decaf. This was like watching a kindergarten class plan a bank heist. Remember, team, Queep said with the enthusiasm of a multi-level marketing recruiter, we're not just conquering a planet. We're disrupting an entire species' lifestyle paradigm. By targeting their core dependencies, we create a cascade failure that results in total societal breakdown. Disrupting their lifestyle paradigm, Maya repeated to herself. These idiots think they're launching a startup instead of an invasion. She made another note. Aliens have confused conquest with customer retention strategy. But the more she listened, the more a delicious plan began forming in her mind. These aliens weren't just incompetent, they were aggressively misinformed. They'd built their entire strategy around assumptions that were hilariously wrong. Which meant Maya could feed them even more wrong assumptions. She cracked her knuckles and opened a new communication channel. Time to introduce the Galactic Council to the concept of human misinformation warfare. This was going to be even more fun than she'd thought. Maya spent the next 6 hours crafting what she liked to think of as her magnum opus of bullshit. If these aliens wanted intelligence about human weaknesses, she was happy to provide it. All of it completely fabricated naturally. She started by creating a fake Earth database entry titled Confidential Human Psychological Vulnerabilities, Level 9 Classification. The beauty of good disinformation was making it look accidentally obtained rather than deliberately planted. First entry, humans suffer from acute acoustic sensitivity to smooth jazz. Extended exposure causes paralysis and eventual catatonia. Military applications under investigation. She uploaded 15 minutes of Kenny G's greatest hits labeled as classified weapon test audio. Next, color-based allergic reactions confirmed in 97% of human population. Purple wavelengths cause immediate respiratory distress. Deploy with extreme caution. Maya included falsified medical reports showing humans breaking out in hives at the sight of purple objects. She'd photoshopped the evidence herself during a particularly boring staff meeting last month. But her masterpiece was the religious angle. Recent anthropological studies confirm humans worship a deity called the Almighty Wi-Fi router. Disrupting internet connectivity is considered an act of war against their primary god. Recommend extreme caution. She created fake archaeological evidence of ancient Wi-Fi shrines and uploaded grainy photos of people praying to their internet routers. The photos were just her co-workers checking their connection, but context was everything. Maya embedded these files in the aliens' own intelligence networks, making them appear to be stolen classified documents. Within hours, she was monitoring their excited communications as they discovered this invaluable intelligence. Ambassador Queep to Admiral Blortex crackled through her intercepted channels. We've acquired additional human weakness data. This changes everything. Excellent work, Queep. What have we learned? Humans are vulnerable to acoustic warfare, specifically smooth jazz music. We should deploy speakers instead of fear cats. Maya grinned as she listened to them completely abandon their laser pointer cat strategy in favor of what was essentially a galaxy-wide elevator music attack. Also, they have a severe medical condition triggered by the color purple. We should repaint all our ships immediately. Brilliant. What else? Most importantly, they worship something called a Wi-Fi router. If we can convince them we're agents of this deity, they'll surrender without resistance. Maya nearly fell out of her chair laughing as Admiral Blortex began redesigning their entire invasion fleet to look like oversized internet equipment. While the aliens frantically revised their plans based on her fake intelligence, Maya was assembling her real response team. She called in Captain Jake Morrison, Earth's best tactical officer, and the only person who found her jokes funny. Lieutenant Emma Foster joined from the Cyber Warfare Division, bringing her legendary ability to hack anything with a circuit board. Sergeant Pete Williams rounded out the team, contributing his specialized skills in creative explosives and aggressive diplomacy. So let me get this straight, Morrison said during their briefing. Aliens are planning to invade Earth based on intelligence they got from watching cat videos? That's the simplified version, Maya replied. The complex version involves them being absolutely convinced that humanity's greatest weakness is smooth jazz. And you're feeding them more fake intelligence because when someone hands you the galaxy's most incompetent invasion force, you don't just defeat them. You make them defeat themselves in the most humiliating way possible. Foster looked up from her computer. I've been monitoring their communications. They've spent the last 4 hours arguing about whether Kenny G or John Coltrane would be more effective as a weapon. They've also ordered 3,000 gallons of purple paint remover, Williams added, and commissioned a shipyard to build invasion craft that look like Wi-Fi routers. Maya nodded with satisfaction. Phase 1 complete. Now we prepare for their arrival. Emma, I want you ready to take control of their smooth jazz deployment systems the moment they enter Earth's atmosphere. Jake, coordinate with NASA to make sure our satellites can broadcast the right signals. Pete, how many cans of purple spray paint can you acquire by tomorrow? How many do you want? All of them. Every purple thing on the planet needs to be visible from orbit. Her team exchanged glances. They'd worked with Maya long enough to recognize when she was orchestrating something spectacular. Morrison asked carefully. Are you planning to traumatize an entire alien invasion force? Maya's smile was absolutely predatory. Captain, I'm planning to turn their invasion into the galaxy's most embarrassing training video. By the time I'm done with them, the Galactic Council will be the punchline of every military academy joke for the next 1,000 years. She pulled up the alien fleet's current position on her display. 67 hours until arrival. Perfect. Just enough time to set the galaxy's most elaborate practical joke. The aliens arrived exactly on schedule, which was probably the only thing they got right about the entire operation. Maya watched from Earth Defense Command as 300 ships that looked like someone had crossed Wi-Fi routers with geometric nightmares entered Earth's atmosphere. This is Admiral Blortex of the Galactic Council, crackled over every communication channel simultaneously. Humans of Earth, surrender immediately to avoid exposure to our devastating sonic weaponry. Maya keyed her microphone. This is Commander Rodriguez of Earth Defense. Could you repeat that? We're having trouble with our Wi-Fi connection. There was a long pause, then excited chattering in the background before Blortex returned. Did you say Wi-Fi? Yes, our sacred Wi-Fi router seems to be malfunctioning. We're all very distressed about it. More chattering. Maya could practically hear them consulting their intelligence files. Humans. Blortex announced triumphantly. We are, agents of the almighty Wi-Fi router. Your deity commands you to surrender. Maya had to mute her microphone to keep from laughing. I'm sorry, could you prove your divine connection? Maybe by improving our internet speeds? The silence stretched for several minutes. Then smooth jazz began playing from speakers mounted on every alien ship. Kenny G's songbird echoed across major cities worldwide at volumes that should have caused mass panic. Instead, Maya watched news feeds of people opening windows to listen better. Coffee shops started playing it as background music. Someone had already created a remix and uploaded it to TikTok. The sonic weapon appears to be ineffective, General Throck reported in his monotone voice, apparently forgetting that human communications were still intercepted. Impossible. Blortex replied. Deploy the fear cats. Maya watched with delight as the aliens began dropping their laser pointer cats over major population centers. Within minutes, actual Earth cats were stalking the confused alien felines like they were particularly interesting toys. Videos of house cats batting at the tiny laser pointers were trending on social media before the first alien cat hit the ground. Sir. Ambassador Queep's voice crackled with growing panic. The humans appear to be laughing at our fear cats. And photographing them, Throck added helpfully. Any photographs. Much sharing on social networks. Maya switched her communication to broadcast mode. Attention, Earth citizens. The aliens have kindly provided entertainment cats equipped with laser toys. Please remember to provide adequate food and water for our new guests. The response was immediate. People began setting out bowls of milk and cat treats. Someone in Tokyo had already built a tiny alien cat cafe. The hashtag AlienCatsIfInvasion was approaching viral status. Phase 3. Blortex shouted desperately. Deploy the decaf. Maya had been waiting for this moment. As alien ships began spraying decaffeinated coffee substitutes over major cities, coffee shops worldwide activated their prepared response. Within hours, Invasion Blend was being served in every Starbucks on the planet. The marketing team had somehow managed to make Alien Invasion a seasonal flavor. How are they not surrendering? Queep wailed. Our intelligence was flawless. Perhaps Throck suggested with his characteristic lack of emotion, our intelligence was not flawless. Maya decided it was time for the coup de grace. Pete, are you ready with the purple paint? Ready and waiting? Commander. Light it up. Across Earth, hidden caches of purple spray paint activated simultaneously. Purple smoke began rising from major cities. Purple banners unfurled from skyscrapers. Purple fireworks exploded in daylight displays that could be seen from orbit. Maya opened communications again. Oh no, you've exposed us to purple. We're having severe allergic reactions. Everyone is. Wait, are you actually falling for this? The alien fleet immediately began evasive maneuvers, desperately trying to avoid the purple displays while Kenny G continued playing from their speakers and confused alien cats wandered around major cities. Commander Rodriguez, Morrison said, trying to keep the laughter out of his voice, should we put them out of their misery? Maya watched the alien fleet continue their panicked retreat from purple smoke while smooth jazz played in the background. News helicopters were following them like they were part of an elaborate performance art piece. Not yet, Captain. I want to see how much worse this can get. She switched to the alien communication frequency. Galactic Council, this is Earth Defense Command. We formally surrender to your superior tactics. Please send coordinates for our official capitulation ceremony. The aliens fell for it completely. This was going to be even better than she'd hoped. Maya had to give the aliens credit for one thing. They were consistently terrible at everything they attempted. Even their victory celebration was a masterclass in incompetence. The humans have surrendered, Admiral Blortex announced to his fleet. Prepare for the victory ceremony at coordinates 37.4 north, 74.0 west. Maya smiled as she verified the location. They'd chosen the middle of New York Harbor, probably because it looked impressive in satellite photos. What they'd missed was that it positioned their entire command fleet within range of every defensive installation on the eastern seaboard. All units, implement Operation Humility Check, Maya commanded over her secure channel. She'd spent the last week doing more than just feeding the aliens bad intelligence. While they were busy repainting their ships and commissioning smooth jazz playlists, Maya had been mapping their communication networks, identifying their command structure, and locating their home worlds. The beauty of fighting incompetent enemies was that they never thought to secure their own data. Foster, are you in their systems? Like a virus in a laptop, Commander. I've got root access to everything. Their security protocols are basically password 123 in 17 different languages. Williams, report on our welcoming committee. Orbital defense platforms are online and targeted. Surface-to-air batteries are locked and loaded. The USS Enterprise is in position with a full complement of very irritated Marines. Morrison, fleet status? 12 destroyers, 8 cruisers, and 3 carriers positioned just outside sensor range. Also, the Coast Guard wants to know if they can issue parking tickets to illegally landed alien vessels. Maya keyed her communicator to the alien frequency. Galactic Council, this is Earth Defense Command. We're ready to receive your surrender. Surrender? Blortex sputtered. We are here to accept your surrender. I'm sorry, Admiral, but there seems to be some confusion. See, while you were busy dropping cats with laser pointers and playing smooth jazz, we were tracking your communication networks back to your home systems. Maya nodded to Foster, who began broadcasting the aliens' own tactical displays to their fleet. Star charts showing Galactic Council worlds, defense grids, supply lines, civilian population centers. How did you acquire this intelligence? Ambassador Queep's voice had lost all its earlier enthusiasm. The same way we acquired the intelligence about our supposed weaknesses to smooth jazz and purple paint, Maya replied sweetly. You have the worst information security in galactic history. The alien fleet began shifting formation, trying to establish defensive positions. Maya watched their panicked maneuvering with professional interest. General Throck, she continued, your homeworld of Krillian Prime has lovely purple sunsets. It would be a shame if something happened to disrupt them. This is impossible, Throck replied, though his usual monotone had developed a slight tremor. Our encryption was unbreakable. Your encryption was embarrassing, Foster interjected over the comm. I've seen middle school science projects with better security protocols. Maya stood and walked to the main tactical display. Around Earth, human defense forces were moving into position with precision that made the alien invasion look like a particularly disorganized parade. Here's what's going to happen, she announced. You're going to recall your invasion force immediately. You're going to return our cats, though honestly. They seem to be enjoying themselves. And you're going to broadcast an official apology to every species in the galaxy for wasting everyone's time with this pathetic excuse for a military operation. And if we refuse? Blortex asked, trying to sound defiant. Maya smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. Foster, show them our orbital strike capabilities. Every human satellite within range of the alien fleet suddenly powered up targeting systems. Weapon platforms that had been disguised as communication relays revealed themselves. The International Space Station extended gun batteries that definitely hadn't been in the original blueprints. Williams, demonstrate our point defense network. A single shot from a railgun platform struck an unmanned alien probe, vaporizing it so completely that the debris didn't even register on sensors. Morrison, show them our fleet. Human warships decloaked around the alien formation like sharks surrounding a school of very confused fish. The aliens had been so focused on their ridiculous invasion plan that they'd completely missed the actual military response forming around them. Now then, Maya continued conversationally, Would you like to surrender voluntarily? Or shall we demonstrate what happens when you threaten a species that weaponizes customer service complaints? The alien comm channels erupted in panic chatter. Maya listened with satisfaction as the Galactic Council's grand invasion force realized they were outgunned, outpositioned, and outclassed by the very species they'd thought they could defeat with decaf coffee. We surrender, Blortex finally admitted. Excellent choice. Now about that apology broadcast. Maya settled back into her command chair. The hard part was over. Now came the fun part. 6 months after the galaxy's most embarrassing invasion attempt, Maya Rodriguez found herself sitting in what used to be the Galactic Council's primary command center, eating cereal and reading intelligence reports at 3 in the morning. Some habits never changed. The former Galactic Council building now served as Earth's Diplomatic Relations Center, though Maya preferred to think of it as humanity's department of teaching aliens not to be stupid. The official name was still being debated by committee. "Commander, we've got another situation," Captain Morrison announced, entering her office with a tablet full of reports. Maya looked up from her Lucky Charms. "Please tell me it's not another species that thinks they can conquer us with weaponized elevator music." "No, Maya. This one's actually competent. The Andromedan Federation wants to establish trade relations. They sent a formal diplomatic package with proper encryption, reasonable terms, and even a cultural exchange program." How disappointing. I was hoping for something more entertaining. Maya had spent the last 6 months establishing what she called aggressive diplomacy protocols. Any species that threatened humanity received a strongly worded letter followed by orbital bombardment. Species that approached with respect and intelligence got trade agreements and cultural exchanges. The former Galactic Council members had become involuntary ambassadors for this new approach. Admiral Blortex now worked in Earth's communications department, translating human memes into 17 different alien languages. Ambassador Queep ran a consulting firm teaching other species how not to plan invasions. General Throck had found his calling in customer service, where his monotone delivery was somehow perfectly suited for handling complaints. "What about our other projects?" Maya asked. The Zephyrian delegation finished their sensitivity training last week. They formally apologized for the Fear Cat incident and offered to establish a joint space patrol program. And the Krillians? Still paying reparations for the decaf attack. They've become the galaxy's primary supplier of premium coffee beans. Apparently, their homeworld has excellent growing conditions. Maya nodded with satisfaction. The former invasion force had been transformed into Earth's most effective diplomatic tool. Nothing convinced other species to behave reasonably quite like the example of what happened when they didn't. "Any word from our intelligence networks?" Morrison grinned. "That's the best part. Foster intercepted communications from 12 different species, all discussing humanity's terrifying reputation. We've become the galaxy's cautionary tale." Maya pulled up the latest intercepts on her screen, species after species discussing the humans who had turned an invasion into a comedy show, then conquered their attackers with such efficiency that it bordered on performance art. "The Vorthans are calling us the species that weaponize sarcasm," Morrison continued. "The Deltans have classified us as dangerously competent, and the Xerians have added humanity to their list of species not to be disturbed under any circumstances." "What about our old friends from the Galactic Council?" Blortex has become something of a celebrity. His autobiography, How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love Human Coffee, is a bestseller on 47 worlds. Maya's computer chimed with an incoming priority transmission. She opened the channel to find herself looking at a species she'd never seen before. Tall, crystalline beings with multiple eyes and an obvious grasp of proper military protocols. "Commander Rodriguez," the lead alien said in perfect English, "I am Ambassador Crystallis of the Nexus Collective. We wish to formally request peaceful contact with the human species." "Appreciated, Ambassador. What brings you to our little corner of the galaxy?" "We have reviewed the historical records of the former Galactic Council's attempted invasion. We were impressed by your handling of the situation." Maya leaned back in her chair. "Which part impressed you most?" The part where we turned their invasion into a sitcom, or the part where we conquered them with their own communication networks? Both, Commander. We represent a collective of species who believe that intelligence and competence should be rewarded rather than feared. We would like to propose a mutual defense alliance. Now this was interesting. Maya had been wondering when the actually competent species would start making contact. But what kind of alliance are we talking about? The kind where species that threaten galactic stability with smooth jazz and fear cats receive appropriate corrective measures. Maya couldn't help but smile. Ambassador Crystallis, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. After ending the call, Maya returned to her serial and intelligence reports. The galaxy was shaping up to be a much more reasonable place. Species that approached humanity with respect and intelligence found valuable allies. Species that approached with stupidity and hostility found themselves explaining their failures to military tribunals. Her computer chimed again. Another intercepted transmission, this one from a species called the Hegemony of Blort. Maya opened the file and immediately started laughing. It was another training video. This one was titled Human Tactical Analysis, Why We Should Never, Ever, Under Any Circumstances, Attempt Military Action Against Earth. The presenter was doing his best to explain human combat capabilities while showing footage of the Galactic Council's spectacular failure. Maya watched with delight as they analyzed every aspect of humanity's response, from the misinformation campaign to the final orbital demonstration. In conclusion, the presenter said gravely, humans appear to be the only species capable of turning warfare into comedy, while simultaneously achieving complete military victory. Recommend immediate diplomatic contact and formal apologies for any past hostile thoughts. Maya saved the video to her collection. She now had training materials from 43 different species, all explaining why attacking humanity was a terrible idea. She finished her cereal, cracked her knuckles, and opened a new communication channel. Somewhere out there was another species planning humanity's extinction based on incomplete intelligence and overconfidence. Maya Rodriguez had work to do. After all, someone had to keep the galaxy entertaining.